In the high-stakes world of modern air combat, the most dangerous thing you can see on a radar screen is nothing. At 0200 hours, over the most contested waters on the planet, an entire carrier strike group's air defense net suddenly blinked. It wasn't a glitch. It wasn't a power failure. Thousands of sailors stared at empty glass while something invisible was screaming through the sky directly toward them at Mach 1.6. The rules of war didn't just change. They were deleted. The USS Gerald R. Ford is the most technologically advanced warship ever built. Its dual-band radar is designed to track a golf ball from hundreds of miles away. But tonight, that multi-billion-dollar system was staring into a void. Somewhere in the darkness, a single pilot sat in a cockpit bathed in a soft green glow. He wasn't looking at a traditional screen. He was looking through the floor of his aircraft. To the world outside, he didn't exist. No radio transmissions, no active radar pings. He was a ghost in a machine. The sensors on the Ford began to howl, not because they found a target, but because they were being smothered. It's a phenomenon pilots call electronic fog. And inside that fog, a predator was closing the gap. To understand the panic on the bridge of the carrier, you have to understand the kill web. Usually a carrier sees an enemy, tracks it, and locks on. It's a transparent chess match. But this was different. The incoming contact was an F-35C, but it wasn't flying a standard profile. It was utilizing something called passive cyber intrusion. Most people think stealth is just about the shape of the plane. They're wrong. True stealth is about silence. The pilot engaged the APG-81 radar in a mode the public rarely hears about, a narrow-beam data spike. Instead of broadcasting a signal like a flashlight, it sent a surgical needle of data directly into the carrier's own communication link. On the ship, the tactical displays began to ghost. One contact became 10, then 10 became 100. The Aegis combat system, the brain of the fleet, was trying to solve a math problem that had no answer. Every 30 seconds, the fog grew thicker. The commanders had a choice: fire blindly into the dark and risk starting a war, or wait and see if the ghost was friendly. But the ghost wasn't waiting. Just as the tactical commander prepared to authorize a defensive launch, the screens cleared. The hundreds of ghost targets vanished. In their place, a single crystal-clear icon appeared. It wasn't miles away. It was directly overhead. The F-35C had bypassed every layer of the world's most expensive defense dome without moving a single physical switch. It had hacked the sky. The pilot keyed his mic for the first time in 2 hours. "Ford, this is Night 01. Check your 6. The bridge crew looked up through the windows. There, silhouetted against the moonlight, was the jagged, predatory shape of the Lightning II. It had just performed a simulated strike that would have sent the world's largest ship to the bottom of the ocean before a single alarm could sound. The simulation was over, or so they thought. As Night 01 prepared to bank away, his helmet, a $4,000 piece of technology that allows him to see through his own jet, flashed a crimson warning. The F-35's distributed aperture system, DS, had picked up a heat signature, not from the carrier, not from a friendly jet. Below the surface of the water, 3 miles out from the carrier's flank, a thermal bloom was rising. Something was moving fast, and it wasn't a whale. The carrier's sonar was still recovering from the electronic interference of the previous minutes. They were blind to the water. The pilot realized the electronic fog hadn't just affected the ship. It had provided the perfect cover for an uninvited guest. An unidentified submarine was surfacing in the middle of the most secure naval formation on Earth. The pilot dipped his wing, diving from 30,000 feet to the deck in a matter of seconds. He needed a visual. If this was a foreign power taking advantage of the training exercise, the situation just went from a drill to a flashpoint. The F-35 leveled out just 50 feet above the waves, the roar of its Pratt & Whitney engine tearing through the night. The pilot toggled his EOTs, the high-resolution camera under the nose. On his visor, the graininess of the dark ocean turned into a high-definition 4K image. He saw the black steel of a sail breaking the surface. It wasn't a friendly sub. It carried no markings, but its acoustic signature, now captured by the F-35's passive buoys, matched a known adversary class. The sub was trailing a long, thin wire, a communication buoy. They were recording the Ford's electronic signature while its defenses were scrambled. "Night 01 to Ford," the pilot's voice was cold. "We have a leech in the water, position 305. They've been listening to the whole show." The Ford didn't hesitate this time. 2 Arleigh Burke-class destroyers surged forward, their massive bows cutting the water like knives. They didn't fire missiles. They did something much more effective. They turned on their active sonar at maximum power. To a submarine, being hit by active sonar at close range is like someone ringing a giant bell inside your head. It's a message. We see you. We can kill you. Leave now. The adversary sub didn't wait for a second message. It performed an emergency dive, disappearing into the deep. But it was too late. The F-35 had already cataloged its unique propeller wash and hull frequency. The hunter had become the hunted. As the sun began to bleed over the horizon, Night 01 climbed back into the silent heights. Modern warfare isn't about who has the biggest gun anymore. It's about who owns the invisible space. That night, the Navy learned a terrifying lesson. Stealth isn't just a cloak, it's a weapon. And in the next war, you won't hear the enemy coming, you won't even see them on your screen. You'll only know they're there when the lights go out. If you want to see the terrifying power of the F-35's secret weapons, click the video on your screen right now. Stay sharp.